Modern society judges others in terms of validation, what they have and what they don't have, as they believe that by doing so it makes them closer into social groups and friends. I find this upsetting. People today act as if, by being yourself, you are somehow supposed to be ostracized or excluded by others, because you aren't what they want you to be. This is found to be disappointing in nature. If you would be upset that someone hazed you for being who you are, who are you to do the same thing? You should look in the mirror sometime if you do that. I find that just modern society doing this is, again, just upsetting. Who are you to govern what someone else does and how they are? Are you their god, their mayor, their parent, their president? What are you to do that? Everyone should be able to decide who they are and not be governed by someone else in order to just be something that they want them to be. If you are not a unique somebody, you will end up being a nobody. A gray spot that people look past, not a smiling face that's outward and outgoing. What are you if you're not yourself? Something that just really came to me. What is any human being if they are not themselves? Who are they to be governed by someone else who probably doesn't even care about them, but just wants them to be what they want them to be instead of who they are? People are telling you to live your story their way, but they are not the authors of it. You are. Yes, you. I'm speaking to you. If you let someone else write your story, then what's the point of your chapters? What is the point of you living the life that you're living now if you have another author writing it? Sure, you're the illustrator drawing the pages, but someone else is writing your words. People mentally think that by making someone be included in their group, they have to change themselves or included in what they have going on. They follow expectations from social media in terms of validation. Who has the best swag? Who has the most money? What people say that they follow to think that they have to do that in order to make people be pleased by them, if that's better. They have to please others by using what someone else tells them. Swag, you gotta be cool, you gotta do all this, do all that. But no, you don't. You don't have to do that. People should just be themselves. It's just so much easier. But they're afraid to be looked down on by other people. To be hazed, to be threatened, to be judged, to just be a black sheep. It's awful, awful feeling. What makes you a human if no one else can just be them? And you treat them like an animal, just because they can't live up to your social expectations or expectations in general. We all are people. What we should put in our hearts is uniqueness and love itself, and not hazing, harassment, and just utter, befuddling nonsense. We are inconsequential to these actions if we just accept the fact that we manipulated someone into being something they're not. Social media gives too many expectations of what people should be, and not things of truthfully just being who they are. I like to break this social norm, because I live my story my own way. No one tells me what I can and cannot be unless the facts are actually in front of my face. Or if I choose to do so. So why don't you follow what you think and what you believe, instead of just following what someone else tells you? Just find it so much easier if you just do that. Anyone would find it much easier. People have these expectations of wanting everything to go their way by making everyone act the way they want, and choosing and favoriting others, playing their little favorites just because this person gives them something else, something that someone doesn't have. What's that say about them? What's that say about you if you like playing favorites for friends? If you like playing favorites with anybody just because they give you something that someone else does not? I understand if they're a lover or something, but if they're your friend or best friend, you shouldn't play favorites. It's all of you together, forever, in a sense. Sorry if I'm just spilling this. It's just I want to do this in one take. I see everything outside out there, and I wonder, why can't people just be the same? Trees blowing in the wind, just peace, everlasting peace, where everything's just the way it is and the way that nature should be. Peaceful and harmony. But people, they can't act like this. They always have to be like that. They have to judge each other, push each other down, knife each other, just knock them off a pedestal and put themselves up higher because of either greed, mistrust, manipulation, social manipulation, and just perceived knowledge, instead of looking at what's in front of them and what they choose to make of it. I guess I got off topic and in a tangent there. Apologies. But no one should have to live up to something that they do not want to be. They should be able to choose their own path and not what somebody else tells them to do. If your friends or people who care about you are making you into someone you don't want to be, you should stand up to that. Stand up against it. Fight against it. But if people simply have you around for either money or something that you give them, or just because you got the coolest clothes, swag, whatever, if they just have you around and only pay attention to you just because you're acting a certain way that they like and just is appeasing to them, then they are selfish and probably don't care about you. But they only care about what you're becoming to them and how it makes them happy and not if it makes you happy. It's upsetting. You just make yourself less happy with this thing that you become, and you become what you're not supposed to be. You become a mask and not just a person. You become this suit and not skin and bone and flesh and blood. You become this amalgamation of things that something has just turned you into a costume with. It's like a puppet that your brain is simply controlling instead of a body. A mask of a mirror of a world that you are seeing through a looking glass. It is all horrific in nature. We must not become that. We must be people and stand strong against others that make us this looking glass, that make us this skin puppet, that make us this monster that we don't want to be. We should never be like that.